Good morning, everyone. Let's begin. My name is Randy Anderson. I serve on the board of directors of Jamestown Community Baseball, LLC, doing business as the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Thank you for coming today. Welcome to our visitors, our listeners on Zoom. Let's have a fun day talking about Jamestown baseball. The first thing I want to do is thank the members of the media who are here today and who support us all year long. Terry from the Media One Group, thank you, Terry, for all you guys do. Jason from WRFA with his sidekick, Norm Rodriguez, the voice of the Tarp Skunks. Jason and Norm, thanks for all you guys do broadcasting every home game. It's a great service to our team and our community. While I'm talking about broadcasting games, I want to shout out and give a tip of the hat to Ed Tomasini, who's hiding over here in the corner. As you probably know, Ed has video streamed every one of the home Tarp Skunks games this past season using the audio that Jason and Norm provide from WRFA. We have secured a grant from the Community Foundation to purchase video equipment that the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame has loaned to the Tarp Skunks. Ed has organized all the video equipment. So Ed's video, Jason's audio, every Tarp Skunks home game is on YouTube. If there's ever a reason why you can't go to a game, and I can't think of any good reason why you wouldn't go to a game, but if you can go to a game, you can watch the Tarp Skunks. And don't forget, you can watch the Tarp Skunks on the road as well. The visiting teams have video streams that are available by going to the Tarp Skunks website. I want to thank the owners of the Jamestown Community Baseball, LLC. Those 40-plus people are committed to keeping baseball in Jamestown, in our community. As you know, we have a long history of baseball in our community. Professional baseball started in 1939. Semi-pro going back to the 1860s. We have a long history of baseball in our community. And those 40-plus owners of the Tarp Skunks are keeping that tradition alive. They're doing it for the good of the community and for the good of baseball in Jamestown. So a tip of the hat to the owners of the Tarp Skunks. I also want to take a minute to recognize the other people who serve on the board of directors of the Tarp Skunks. This is a business. The Tarp Skunks is a business. It takes a lot of effort to keep this business going forward. And the people who serve on the board are not there just as people to fill up empty chairs. This is a working board, and all the people work very hard. So they deserve some recognition today. You don't have to applaud. No, don't applaud. Just shake your head. First, I want to recognize June and Russ Dietrich, Randy Sweeney, Julie and Bruce Dudgeon, John Gifford, Greg Peterson, who's on Zoom with us today, Dr. George Carlo, and Jim Parker. I think I've got them all. That is the board of directors of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, who work very hard for our team and our community. Okay, the first thing that we'll have on the agenda today is a video of noted comedian Mark Russell acknowledging his allegiance to the Jamestown Tarp Skunks.
Take me out to the Tarp Skunks. Take me out with the crowd. A skunk's in the dugout, I ain't gonna snow ya. They even smelled it in downtown Fredonia. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. We are the team with a stripe down our back for Richmond. Root for the Tarp Skunks. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's Tarp Skunks, we're proud of our team with a stinking good name. For it's Tarp Skunks, we're proud of our team with the stinking good name.
Isn't that good? Not only is Mr. Russell a supporter of the Skunks, he's also part of the ownership group. The first person I'd like to call to the podium tonight, or this morning. Yeah. I'm already into Bills mode tonight. First person I'd like to call to the podium is Jacob Kinberg, the Director of Business Operations for the Tarp Skunks.
Morning, guys. Appreciate everyone coming out today. I just want to take a few minutes and go over some of the highlights from this past season, and also reference a little bit of 2021 and how we got to the point that we are now and where we stand to grow, and some exciting things in 2023. So, a couple season highlights from 2022. We increased attendance by 5% over 2021's attendance, which many people might already know, but 2021's attendance was over 100% increase over what the previous collegiate summer league teams in Jamestown were doing. So we went from a few years ago getting around 400 people at the stadium to 2021 getting over 800, and now we're just under 900 per game. So, excuse me. So that's a number that we're very proud of, and kind of shows the support that we really do have from the community, as Randy alluded to. So certainly appreciative of everybody coming out, and we're hoping to continue to grow that attendance number into 2023. A few other numbers I wanted to go over just so everybody has a good grasp of kind of where we stand. In 2022, as I said, it was just under 900 people. That was 20,000 people that came to the stadium for Tarp Skunks games in this season, which I think is just a tremendous number that they haven't had in a long time, probably since Mike Ferguson was running things. So it's coming full circle here. Also, so that we had 10 games that were over 1,000 people in attendance. So that kind of goes to show that our attendance number wasn't really buoyed by a couple big games. We had consistent, large crowds, some of the most consistent, largest crowds for any entertainment venue in the county, which we're very proud of. Yes, absolutely. And kind of that was highlighted by our school kids game that we had this year in early June before school let out. We had over 2,000 kids at the stadium for a field trip for a 11 o'clock start baseball game, which was very exciting for us, something that a lot of teams around the country do, whether it's professional or collegiate, and a good way to be the community asset that we want to position ourselves as. If we can provide very cheap, affordable entertainment towards the end of the year for students that had a good year, a good semester, reward them, and just continue to weave ourselves into the community in that sense. So that's something we're looking to do again going into 2023, and hopefully forever. Maybe we can get a couple games this season. So something we're excited about. As far as season tickets, we had over 150 season tickets, which was awesome. I mean, this being the second year of the organization, really to already have that substantial of a season ticket base is huge. As knowing that's over 10% of our crowd and attendance-wise is season ticket holders is tremendous, and we hope to grow that as we go forward. But the support, as I can't say it enough, the support from the community has been huge. Corporate partners and groups, organizations that we had involved in the season, whether it be a sponsor, a group outing, or other community-related events. We had over 104. So it's not just individuals coming out, it's the local businesses here in the county and in the city that are getting very involved and are invested in our success, which is awesome to see. And we can't be more appreciative for that and having everybody out, whether they're coming from southern Chautauqua County or up in the north end, coming from PA. We're getting, whether it's fans, businesses, people from all over the area are coming. And I think when we got this ball rolling a couple of years ago, that's what we were envisioning happening. Just a community support, not just in Jamestown, but across the area, and we're really seeing that. So those are a few quick numbers I wanted to share. Now, some other ones on the staff side, on the business side, we had 6 interns this past season. Just in the business operations, not including the broadcast, radio broadcasts or video broadcasts. And those students came from 4 different schools, colleges or universities. So we're drawing people from JCC, from Fredonia, from schools up in Buffalo and in Ohio and other places. We're getting young people who are, new to the business, that are trying to learn the business, that want to be involved. We're getting them into Jamestown. We're attracting them to Jamestown, hopefully to stay. Hopefully that leads to a paid position at some point or something else. But whether it's the fans, it's our staff, it's our players, which of course are coming from all over the country, we're certainly attracting people into Jamestown that might not otherwise be there. It's something we're very proud of. Our total game day staff, we had over 20 game day paid and volunteer positions. So again, it's not just the people coming for the entertainment, it's everybody you see in this room here that are invested in our success. And so that's certainly something that we look forward to continuing and are appreciative of. All right, so a few more things, and then I'll stop boring you guys. The community appearances, we did 63 community appearances outside of the baseball games in 2022. So we are getting it out in the community. We're trying to find ways that we can reciprocate the generosity that we've received from the community, whether that's being in the schools. I know Jordan took the players a couple times into the schools. We've been to retirement communities, other community service organizations, and trying to give back where we can in a way that makes sense for us and show everybody that this community means a lot to us, as hopefully as the Tarp Skunks means to the community. We had several buyout nights last year, community buyout nights, which is another example of the tremendous support we've been receiving. We had 4 buyout nights, one by the CCIDA, Ball Game Heroes, the local Rotary clubs, and Greater Chautauqua Federal Credit Union. And essentially those businesses bought out the stadium, opened up the gates, and let everybody in. And a good way to keep, as I really can't say it enough. I mean, to keep integrating into the community, to position ourselves as a community asset the way that we want to, we need to be able to do things like this, and to get the support from those businesses and countless others has been tremendous. Now, if we look forward into 2023 quickly, I know I think we can count on an even better support attendance-wise. I mean, we keep seeing the attendance figures increase, and I don't see that changing. We got to do a lot of work on our end to make sure that we provide much more than just 9 innings of baseball. The 9 innings of baseball on the field is tremendous. Jordan recruits a good team and has a good product out on the field, but we want to make sure that we're an entertainment option for anybody. Whether you like baseball or not, your kids like it or not, you come down to the stadium and we have a lot of things going on. So we'll have a couple new things that you'll see at the stadium coming into 2023, some different fan experience areas, some new entertainment spaces, which we're very excited about. And these incremental changes, I think, are important year over year to keep it fresh at the stadium, whether it's new products for sale or new spaces to enjoy the game with your friend that might not be in the same seats you've always sat in. We're going to continue to work towards that and have some good plans that we're excited to announce here in the coming months. And, lastly, I just wanted to finish up by saying if we're going to succeed as a community asset, we need to provide a product that the community enjoys. And I think the best way to do that is getting feedback from the fans, from you guys here today, from those in the stadium that are there for the first time. So certainly would encourage everybody to give us your feedback, whether it's positive, negative, what you think could be done differently at the stadium, what you've seen other places that work that you think we could integrate into our experience down at Dietrich Park would be tremendous. We're always looking to improve, keep the same things that people like year over year, and then expanding on those. So please, feedback, whether it's after this event today or an email or a tweet to us or something, give us that feedback because it's certainly needed. And the only way, as I said, the only way that we can be a true community asset is if we continue to have the tremendous support and input from the community that we've had to this point. So thank you guys.
I'd like to call up Bruce Dudgeon, a board member who serves as the liaison between the Director of Business Operations and the board. Bruce Dudgeon.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming today. I hope I'm not stealing anybody's thunder, but Jacob asked for feedback, and we got a lot of feedback last year. And with the support of the city, we're going to have a new sound system this year. So I think that's important to say right now. I think that was going to be some of the feedback we were getting after the meeting. Thank you, Jacob. Great job. And Jacob has been our Director of Business Operations and Sales for 2 seasons. We're very fortunate to have him working for us. We were able to recruit him out of Spain. He was expat living in Spain, and he came back to Jamestown. He's a graduate of JHS, came back to Jamestown to work for us. And at the end of 2021, through some career changes, Jacob and his fiancée moved to Buffalo. And Jamestown Community Baseball in the fall. We floundered around for a little while, and a month later we said, "Hey, Jacob, could you come back and help us out a little bit?" And so for the past year, Jacob has been working part-time out of Buffalo. As he mentioned, and as you know, we had a very successful season again this past summer. But towards the middle of the summer, end of the summer, Jacob said, "You know, for the long run, you guys really should have somebody full-time. You should have somebody in Jamestown doing this job." He knew he was working himself out of a job, but that's how committed he is to our success. And so we went out and we have a new Director of Operations and Sales, another Jamestown High School grad, just finished last of his finals at John Carroll University out of Cleveland. He has interned with us for the past couple of summers, and we're very, very happy to have a new director who will be here in Jamestown starting January 11th. So the office will be open full-time after January 11th. And I'd like to introduce a name that's familiar to most of us, the surname anyways, for people around Jamestown, Christian Doles.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I just want to start by saying thank you to a few people, to Bruce and Julie Dudgeon, Russ and June Dietrich, Randy Anderson, Jordan Bazil, and Mike Ferguson, as well as Greg Peterson, who have all helped me immensely over the past 2 seasons and continuing into this process over the past 2 months. I want to say thank you to my parents, my grandparents, and my sister for always pushing me to do my best and helping me take on whatever comes my way. Thank you, guys. Lastly, I'd like to thank Jacob Kimberg for being not only a great role model, but a great mentor for me. I know that your willingness to help me learn is something I truly appreciate. And I know I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for you. So thank you. For me, it's been a wild ride over the past final months of college and even over the last 48 hours. Exactly 48 hours ago, I finished my last final exam of my undergraduate career, and I am now officially embarking on a new journey and chapter in my life. As I reflect on my experiences at John Carroll University, I'll come back to the 7 main pillars that are taught to us as part of our Jesuit curriculum and foundation for learning, one of them being men and women for others. As someone who has been a Jamestown resident and a fan of the Jammers growing up, I saw this motto play out numerous times over the past 2 seasons. I want to take a second to share a moment that I think all of you can appreciate. Last summer, we had a meet and greet where players, the mascot, and myself went out into the community and took pictures, signed autographs, and met with numerous fans. The amount of people that I saw at this event and at other events throughout the season and at the ballpark with smiles on their faces, laughing, and enjoying Tarp Skunks baseball was overbearing. To be able to make a positive impact and a difference in our community is something that I think is very special, and I want to continue for Jamestown. I want to make a trip to Dietrich Park a premier experience for not only Jamestown, but for the Chautauqua County for families. Making a positive impact and an enjoyable experience is my #1 goal. Being able to serve those in your community is a value that I hold strong in my heart, and I will continue as I begin in this position. This year is going to be an exciting year for Tarp Skunks baseball. After 2 very successful seasons, I believe we are just starting to hit our stride and are on the cusp of taking our organization to the next level, establishing ourselves as a fixture in the Southern Tier region. Baseball and Jamestown are 2 things that always stick together, and I am motivated to continue to build on our rich history here, carrying on the legacy of Mr. Baseball himself, Mr. Russ Dietrich. He means so much to our community, and I'm excited to further his legacy in Jamestown baseball. With room to grow, I'm prepared to lead our business operations team and build off what we have already established here in my first 2 years. My hard work and passion for this team's overall success will be a mainstay for how we run our operations, with efficiency and a desire to always improve. It is truly an honor to be named the next general manager and director of sales and operations for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. I'm very excited for this opportunity, and I'm very excited to get to work to continue to build this amazing franchise.
Glad to have you, Kyle. Thank you, Christian. We're very, very excited to have Christian on board. And one thing I neglected to say, we're not just dumping Christian down in the office and saying, here you go. Jacob has agreed to stay on as a trainer and a mentor and a teacher, and we'll be building on the last couple of years and moving on. One of the things that we do, as you all know, you've probably gotten a phone call about sponsorships and sales. And Christian will be very busy with our sales that we already have, renewing all the customers that we've had in the past. As you can imagine, working with Jordan, managing the stadium, getting all the interns, all the work that goes into that. And we realized that there's a lot of sales out there that's left untapped, I guess is the word. And so we've also, for this year, we've added a new marketing executive, and he doesn't need a whole lot of introduction. Most of you know his name, and I want to introduce our new marketing executive, Mike Ferguson. Thanks, bud.
Hi. Bruce asked me to keep it short. I promised to get everybody home in time for the kickoff this afternoon. And if you know me, that's a tough one. I'm so happy to come back and have this opportunity. And I just want to say you've got a great team, and the same names come up with regards to the history of baseball in Jamestown, right? King of baseball sitting in the front seat here, and his court, his folks that have kept baseball alive for so many years. You know, you talked about entertainment and people coming from Chautauqua County. A memory that sticks out for me last year, and I was only able to do a few games last year. We had a lot of fun with it. I'm glad to hear we're getting a new sound system. And it's father and son came into the stadium, and it was towards the end of the summer. And they had a project where they were trying to visit as many minor league baseball teams as they could. And it just so happened that we were the last stop on their tour before they went back home to Toronto. And in true Jamestown baseball fashion, between Greg Peterson, Randy, and the coach and his team, they created a memory for that father and son that will last forever. Not only did they get to sit out in the party zone and have a hot dog and a pop and bond with some of our folks from Jamestown, they threw a jersey on him and made him bat boy, and they made Dad an assistant coach for the night. Where does that happen? Really? Happens here in Jamestown. You don't get that experience. Can you imagine going to a Yankees game and them pulling somebody out and saying, hey, you're going to sit on the bench with the players and you're going to be a bat boy? It would never happen. And that's what you're creating, and that's why I'm so proud to hear what Christian is talking about, because while baseball is the product, and man, congratulations, Coach. You put together a team of people that love this city and reacted to the fans, and the fans reacted to them. And, you know, between the pew crew and all the other things that went on in the stadium, you get it. You got it. Baseball's the reason why they come. But you got dad, sons, daughters, moms, grandparents, grandkids, and they all have to enjoy the experience. So I'm really excited to see what they have in store for this year, and proud to be back. I want to thank everybody. The name's too long. The list is too long. I see my girl Julie here, who put up with me for part of my time, and our good friend Norma, who also had to put up with me in the office back in the day. And while my sports life began in racquetball, my professional management sports life began when Greg and Russ Dietrich and Mike Milani took me to lunch in the town club. And when Greg called and said, hey, would you be interested in helping us with sponsorship sales? I jumped at the chance, because there's no place out of all the places that I've helped work and manage and promote that I would rather be than back here in Jamestown, because the people appreciate the team, they love the team, they love the players, and you create an experience unlike any other in minor league baseball. If the Savannah Bananas can go from a totally broke, empty stadium that didn't even have plumbing, and a husband and wife who mortgaged their house, to becoming one of the most popular entertainment events in the country, the Tarp Skunks can be right there with them, with real baseball. So thank you for the opportunity. Greg, thank you. I know we were watching Greg have his lunch there for a little bit, or breakfast, wherever he's at. But thank you to everybody. Thank you, Randy. And go Skunks. We're going to have a great season.
Good job, Mike. Thanks. This time I'd like to introduce our Director of Baseball Operations, also known as our manager, Jordan Basil. As you know, Jordan is not only in charge of baseball here in Jamestown with the Tarp Skunks, but he's also the head coach at SUNY Fredonia. So Jordan has a lot on his plate. He's working really hard for the Blue Devils out in Fredonia, but he's also been working the phones and lining up players to come to Jamestown next summer to play for the Skunks. So I'll ask Jordan to give a little recap of this season and what we can expect for next year.
Yeah, as you guys can probably see, my SUNY Fredonia blue and my Tarp Skunks hat here don't match too well, so I'm doing a little bit of everything. But it is what it is. Just to reiterate everything, thank you everybody for what goes into this. This is a true minor league experience. It really is. Mr. Dietrich, our board members, Jacob, Christian now on board, just everybody involved. It's unbelievable. When I make recruiting calls and tell these guys what they're coming here to do, they jump for joy. So I think I've told this story a couple of times. I may or may not have, but you can play summer ball a lot of places in the country. I did it as a player. I lived in Weyburn, Saskatchewan. I picked up a bicycle for $45. I was living in a basement. I slept on a pull-out couch, and I had back spasms in about a week. I was eating tuna fish out of a can, riding my bike, got in good shape. I rode my bike to the park every single day, and by the last week or two, I was like, I want to get the heck out of here. That's not the case here in Jamestown. These guys got it really well. If you guys don't know, when I make a recruiting call, well, you guys get to live in the dorms. You got air conditioning, you got Wi-Fi, you get a meal every day. You get to walk out the front door, and you're in the left field wall of Dietrich Park. To the left is Jamestown Community College, where we are privileged to be able to just use our scan card, go in, get a workout in. Weyburn, Saskatchewan, by the way, we took 15 passenger vans down all of the flat roads. All you could see is farmland and storms from everywhere. We ride a coach bus where we go, everywhere we go with the Tarp Skunks. It's an experience that when I say every single guy on the roster every year wants to come back here, they want to come back here. Unfortunately, after about 2 months of headaches, DeMarco made the cut, but 2 months of headaches, I can't take everybody back. And it's always nice to bring in some new guys as well. But it's incredible. Everything that's went into this from day one, how quickly everything evolved and we made this all happen. It's amazing just to think about. So I'm glad to be back for a third year. We got a great product on the field. This year we have a little bit different roster. I'll pull it up for you guys here, just to give you an idea of where some of these guys are coming from. 1 sec, I had it up. So this year's roster, we always bring back some guys from different schools, but got guys at IMG Academy right now. It's going to Princeton University. Patrick DeMarco, who recently transferred from Penn State University to Ohio, Western Michigan, Fairfield University, Maryland, Seton Hill, Wagner, North Georgia, Nova Southeastern in Florida, UMass Amherst, Drury, which is in Missouri, Gannon, and Tennessee Tech. So unique schools in a bunch of different states every year. And like I said, over the hundreds of calls I make, I'm getting the phone calls as well from coaches, and it's becoming the whisper effect of guys telling this guy, this is a great experience. And people are knowing who the Jamestown Tarp Skunks are. And it's easy for me to say, listen, we're playing in the best stadium in the whole entire league. And you can say that with confidence, because there's no doubt about it. We have the best stadium in the league. We have the best setup. And when I get a call from Joe Martinez at Batavia, he's always like, got to go beat Jamestown. Although Batavia got us last year, we're going to come for them this year. So that's all there is to that. So, but no, that's all pretty great. Like I said, great to have Pat back. He's the one guy coming back for next year. Also, we just had a Savannah Banana ourselves, Danny Hosley, who I coached in junior college ball for 2 years. I tried to send that kid to every Division I school, basically in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. Nobody wanted him. I was like, this kid can play. Ends up going to Norfolk State. then transfers to George Mason and came play with us for the Skunks. If you guys remember, Do It All Danny at third base. He was actually a catcher for me in JUCO. Then played third base here, and then he was a little bit of everything. Just signed with the Savannah Bananas the other day. So if he's not going to make it to the big leagues or the minor leagues, that's the next best thing. So super happy for him. Cool. And then just lastly, Dr. Carlo's not here today. He's actually working on a DOD contract in Washington, D.C. with Secrets of Champions. These guys come in and not just get a minor league experience, but we treat them at the highest level. We do performance evaluations, the guys, everything that we've been doing with the Tigers in 2011 when I was with Dr. Carlo. We've continued to carry on that tradition. There's a couple of options. If you guys got question and answers, I can give you a website and all that stuff. But we're doing the stuff at the highest levels, and it's just a really great thing. If anybody has any questions.
Hey, Pat, can you turn on your video so we could see you, Pat? Hey, Pat, how do you feel about coming back to Jamestown for another summer? Hey, Pat, you have a lot of connections to the Jamestown community. Your dad was born in Jamestown. Your aunt is still here. Your grandma is here. When you pitch, half the city comes out to see you. How does that community support impact what you do on the mound?
It brings a tear to my eye. The first time I was out there, I think playing Niagara at home, and I see the whole right side of the stadium filled with family members. It was pretty cool. And I pitched 5 scoreless, which helped, but that, yeah. But, I mean, all credit to the community and everything. They come out. I mean, I know last year the guys loved it. It was great seeing everyone in the stands. It really motivates us, and Jordan does a great job with us players, keeping us motivated, and it's just a great experience. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else.
Thanks for jumping in on us this morning. I want to tell all the people in the audience that we have produced a baseball card of our #1 draft pick, Patrick DeMarco, and everybody here today will receive Pat's baseball card as they leave. So again, Pat, thanks for joining up with the Skunks again, and I can't wait to see you. Jordan mentioned the close relationship that we are fortunate to have with Jamestown Community College. We have something unique here that the other teams in our league don't have. The ability to house all the kids together. They're not living in somebody's basement on a sofa all over the city. We've got them all in one place. It builds cohesiveness, it builds team unity. We're able to use the gym at JCC. We're just really fortunate to have JCC as a partner with us in Jamestown Community Baseball. Maria, I hope you'll spread that along to our friends down at the college. We really appreciate them. Okay, Ed, I think it's time for your next video.
Dennis, you know, the Pew Crew guy. Nobody got more. No, just simply off the top of your head, Dennis. If anybody caused more interest, there are throughout the YouTube site, if you type in the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, you'll see a lot of different posts. And one of them is dealing with a lot of interviews with a lot of the players, and they all talk about the activity that was going on behind them, behind the third base dugout, and the encouragement, and knowing that that group had their back at all times, and the opposition also knew that they were there. And so the ringleader of all of that, and again, a term I've been told, the Pew Crew, but Dennis, why don't you come up and have a reflection?
We had a wonderful, wonderful time this year. There was no plan on making some kind of great super fan base or anything like that. It started a history of Teddy Conklin. I was my best friend since we were 4. He's the swim coach at JCC. And we went and saw a lot of the JCC baseball games. And we have a history. We started going to Expos games when we were really little kids. We had season tickets with our dads back in the really, really good season. It was like 1989 with Marquise Grissom and Delano DeShields. Oh, that was a fantastic season there. We didn't miss a single game. And we used to play catch and stuff behind I guess it was actually the first base side, behind the bleachers and everything, and get the balls when they go foul. So we had a whole long history with it. And when they were coming back, we said, well, we got to get to the games. So we got season tickets, and we started sitting there. And just a lot of the if we want to call it, banter or heckling or whatever came from, I went to Clemson University down in South Carolina, and they have a real wonderful kind of history of some of my friends there of getting on some guys on the other teams and just making it have a good old time. But it was a really, really fun time, and just odd how it kind of just sort of grew and grew. Just more people wanted to come, more people were having fun. A lot of them wouldn't even all be who you would think. It's not giant baseball fans. There was musicians with us and lawyers and just the most random people that couldn't really care much about baseball, but we made it into something that was kind of a fun time. And then with Jordan, wonderful friend of mine, and the players, we ended up becoming they were like a giant group of little brothers. We became wonderful friends with them. We'd see them and stuff, outside of the games. Got to do some fun things. We brought them a whole huge thing of Johnny's, so they know what our wonderful local cuisine was. One time we brought it to them. We brought it to them before the game, before they traveled to somewhere. So I'm going to guess that bus driver will never speak to me again in the rest of his life. But I guess all it really did was put them all to sleep, Jordan said. But so we got them with that. We saw them all after the season. So just a wonderful, wonderful group of guys. I don't know if there was. Maybe it was that perfect storm of just with kind of everybody getting back out, and maybe it's just I don't know. I think we live in a wonderful area with some great people, so we're very open that all of a sudden the guy behind you would start talking to you, and people I've just become friends with throughout the season, or even here when we just talk. It was a really, really wonderful time. So hopefully we get to live up to that again this year, and maybe we grow and get even more representation so people know who we are. And I don't think it should be a comfortable place for somebody else to play. So it's nice that they want to remember who they were and where they were at. So hopefully we made it fun for everybody. And I know I sure appreciated it. All of us did, I think, in our section. So thanks a lot, Greg, and everybody else that was in charge of getting us so we get to do this. It was super fun. Thanks, guys.
The atmosphere, the crowd's always into it. You always hear the guys in the left field bleachers screaming and hollering. It's an awesome time.
Last night, home night, they put a tag on you, Pew Crew. They really have embraced you.
Oh, yeah.
Why? They're sort not that they've singled out the team, but
Yeah.
they really singled out Johnny. Here's Johnny.
Yeah. I try to be a good guy to everybody that I've met the fans here. I try to be as good as I can to them, and I think I established a friendship with them early last year, being energetic and whatnot, as you tend to see me on the field. I'm a little animated, but and I think just from there they've embraced me. I always make a joke, or they always make jokes, that when I come back, I'll come back to visit. I can't not. When I come back, I'll have about 16, 17 different free places to stay. That's how I wouldn't have to worry about a hotel ever. Wouldn't have to worry about food. They always make jokes and stuff like that, but I know it's not jokes, and I know that it's true, and they mean that. So I can't thank them enough.
Well, the nice thing, a couple of those guys are bartenders.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
They got access.
Oh yeah, they got
food, drinks.
yes, sir. Southern Tier. Well, but yeah, they got to take advantage of.
Did you have a lot of fan interaction? You got a Pew Crew, those guys behind you who are into it, man.
Oh yeah, a lot of fan interaction. I really enjoyed that. I think that was one of my favorite things, having the fans engage in the game. They were just they knew the game of baseball, and it was enjoyable to have them there and have them on our side.
Behind you at the third base dugout is the Pew Crew.
The Pew Crew.
Yeah. So what's your sense of those guys?
Oh, I love them. You gotta love them. They're amazing, especially because they're on our side. I don't know if I'd be as much of a fan if they were on the opposing side, but for us, they're absolutely lovely, and all the fans around them, always packed out, always cheering us on. Even if they don't know who we are, if it's their first Tarp Skunk game, they're there to cheer us on, and they always do it every single time, and they're great at it.
The Pew Crew is along the third base side. Give me your reactions of those guys.
They're hilarious. They're the best type of fans right there, especially when they're rooting against the other teams. I know when we go other places, their fans are rooting against their own team, so I'm glad they're kind of chirping other teams. But some of the things they say are just out of this world.
You remember a phrase or two? Because they keep popping.
I don't remember any because they have a lot, and they don't even make sense sometimes. So, but they're funny.
Pew Crew. How did you guys keep your sanity with listening to them nonstop all game?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I loved hearing the chirps, everything that they had to say. It was all creative. I loved what they do.
Do you guys interact with them after the game? Do they come in? They talk to you at all?
Oh yeah, they know all of our names and stuff like that, and just have short conversations with them sometimes. Say, "Oh, good job in the game," stuff like that, fist bump or whatever.
Well, we got the Pew Crew, and they on some days we needed them to get us going. You know, we'd be tired at the field, and they'd constantly, every day, they never failed to have energy to get us going, and they made baseball, they made it fun out there. There was no dull moment out there.
Of the crowd, the fan interaction with the team?
Oh yeah, they were, the Pew Crew. They're something else. We love them, and just the fan base is very supportive, and you feel every bit of it.
Pew Crew. Did you get to interact with those guys?
Oh yeah. I remember the first day I go out to play, and my name gets announced to the loudspeaker, and all of a sudden I hear "All Hail the King," and I was like, they did their research already. Like, they're awesome. They're really awesome. They love interacting with us. They do their research, so they'll get on the opponents a little bit. They'll have our backs all the time. I love them. They're awesome.
Pew Crew.
Fantastic. I've never seen anything like that. I was laughing at so many jokes this year. I had no idea they would come up with these things that I had to take a second and be like, okay, that was funny. Like I've never seen anything like that. It was amazing. Pew Crew was fantastic.
Do you remember a phrase or two that they would come up with?
A phrase? They said to one kid, they shout out his ERA. It was like a 18, and he was like, "Your ERA's an 18. I don't know if that's good or bad." And I thought that was pretty funny.
Talk about the Pew Crew.
Oh, it's great, honestly. We have a lot of fans normally that show up to games, but they're the loudest out there, and you can tell the other team gets pretty frustrated with them sometimes, and it kind of helps us score runs or do better in the field because the other team's getting frustrated. I know a couple guys on the other teams on the mound, they were like looking at the Pew Crew and like trying to argue with them when they're trying to pitch, so they're not even focused on the game anymore. They're focused on them in the stands. When I'm just sitting there and not playing at all, I can hear them. I kind of laugh sometimes. Some of it's pretty funny what they say, so I'm just sitting there laughing in my seat normally.
Yeah, I was listening to the last part of Jordan's interview when he was in here, and they already had the research done before he got in here. But not only are they researching our roster, that's the easy part. They get that done. They got to do that once. Then it's every new team that comes in here to play, and then they have research on that guy and his whole family background and whatnot. So there's a lot of time spent in doing that. I don't know where they get all the hours. I know those guys have full-time jobs and have pretty successful livelihoods. So must be right when they get out of work or early in the mornings before they go into work. They're doing their research. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat what's put into it from those guys. Yeah, every once in a while. I try not to give them a smile because they are my buddies and they know I'm already smiling. And after the game, I'll tell them what the good ones were. But there's sometimes I just can't hold my laugh with some of the stuff they say, and just like, where did that even come from? How did you come up with that? And I don't think they're like practicing a lot of these one-line comments they have. That just between Dennis and Todd and every single one of them actually just all of a sudden something comes to them and I'm like, brilliant, but just where did you come up with that?
Well, I was stepping in the box, and the Pew Crew, before I got in the box, they already cheered me on, give me a standing O and all that. And I stepped in the box, and I thought that's I need to say thanks to everybody, not just the Pew Crew. They were special, but the entire city themselves all the fans was special. So I just say thank you one more time.
At this point, I'd like to call Gary Henry, the president of Fancher Chair Company, a great supporter of the Tarp Skunks. I don't know how else to describe Gary. Anything we've ever needed, from bar stools up in the owner's box to tent parties, anything we've ever needed, Gary Henry and the folks at Fancher have stepped up to the plate. And Gary, do you want to say anything at the podium, or you want to just shout from there?
I can talk from here.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Good morning. At Fancher Chair, we really appreciate the Tarp Skunks. We appreciate the whole community. We've been here for over 200 years. So the community is important to us, and anytime we can partner with the community in any way, we certainly enjoy it. And so when we see chairs like this that we made that are being used here at the Jackson Center, we appreciate it. We had an opportunity to make some stuff for the Chautauqua Institution and enjoyed doing that a few years ago. And so we had the opportunity to partner with the Tarp Skunks and to be able to celebrate the pew crew and have a little fun with that. And so we were able to get one of the pews that was for the institution and repurpose it here for the pew crew, and certainly hope that that's a little fun for the whole community.
Randy, why don't you help Gary unveil what's going to be seen at the stadium this summer? This At this time, I'd like to have Jacob Kinberg come back to the podium. He's going to introduce a new marketing partner, a merchandise partner that going to be joining the Tarp Skunks in full force this year. We've had really good luck with merchandise sales the last 2 years. Jacob will speak to that in a few minutes, but what we have planned going forward is going to knock your socks off. Come on, Jacob.
Andy alluded to, we've had very strong merchandise sales the last couple of years, and very excited about what we have to announce today. I think something that's going to continue to see those sales skyrocket. But it's actually something that's kind of 2 years in the making now. Back in 2021, the first season, it was approached by a company that offered merchandise, particularly shirts from recycled material, namely recycled plastic bottles. And we were approached about if we want to have some of that product at the stadium, which of course we were interested in, whether it's talking about the carbon footprint, however we can reduce that, and also creating a new product line that we can offer at the stadium. So the last 2 years, you probably, if you made your way down to the merch stand, you would have seen a few select items from the brand at the time Tenfold, which is again, is a recycled material plastic bottle company that takes these plastic bottles and plastic trash and turns it into t-shirts. And so we had a great partnership with them for the last 2 seasons. And then going into the off season, at the conclusion of this season, we were kind of looking for a change in our merchandise provider. And it was kind of a natural fit was to go with Reassure Clothing, who they changed their name. We're Tenfold, then became Reassure. So same product line and everything that you would have seen down at the stadium. But they have partnered with us. We worked very well with them for the last 2 seasons. We're now partnering with them to provide all of our merchandise. So they will be sourcing your favorite brands that you have seen before, whether it's those New Era caps or the select sweatshirts, some of which we have outside here today. That same stuff that was very popular the last 2 years will continue to be there. But then with an advanced and more expanded product line of the recycled material, whether that's T-shirts or beanies or baseball hats, which are coming soon, and sweatshirts, polos. Polos are out there today. It's going to be a full scope of merchandise as we've had before, even more than we've had before, and better stocked. I know a good problem that we had the past couple seasons where we couldn't keep enough merchandise on the shelves down at the stadium, and this was a good problem, but it was still a problem. So I think we've worked through some of those issues, and we're excited about having Reassure as our official merchandise sponsor for the 2023 season and for the many seasons beyond that. So this time I'd like to welcome up Michael Johnson, the co-owner of Reassure Clothing.
It's great to be here. It's great to partner with the Tarp Skunks this year officially. I grew up watching the Jammers, and before that I think it was the Expos, and going as a kid catching fly balls behind first base, behind those bleachers. So this, the stadium's always been quite special to me, and come to games. And after high school, I moved away after JHS, graduated in 01. I moved away to the West Coast, started a family. We just moved back here about 5 years ago. We brought the business back with us. And it was a no-brainer, especially since we saw the rebrand of the to the Tarp Skunks. I thought it was really a brilliant move. And immediately you guys saw a lot more interest in the organization, and I really wanted to be a part of that. So we approached with a few select things, a few select products. And our goal is to provide excellent customer service, get people, their product on time, keep you guys, fully stocked, and also, bring that sustainability aspect to, what we feel is really needed for the planet and for the community. We, as a company, will have, helped pull about 15,000 pounds of plastic out of oceans and waterways. Each T-shirt that you buy that is made of recycled materials like this is a large T-shirt that is made from 14.5 plastic bottles. So, I mean, really, the impact that they have, is just, quite remarkable. And, curbing the virgin plastic to make clothing, just trying to curb that and really, I don't know, we just feel it's quite important. So we're glad, we're super glad to be partnering with you guys, and we look forward to helping you out as much as possible. Lastly, I'll just say, if you guys are looking for any products that we're not offering yet, you have any ideas, any design ideas, we'd love to hear them. So please check out the website. There's contact info there, phone numbers, email addresses to contact us. Let us know what you want, and we want to be able to provide that for you guys. Thank you very much.
Michael alluded to a website. It's jamestowntarpskunks.com, and that is our home website, but also you'll find the ability to purchase Reassure products online. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to baseball season to get your products. We're only, 8 days away from Christmas. I don't know if Michael can deliver anything by Christmas, but he's got some items out there now, and we want to encourage you to stop by there. One last piece of business. I kind of feel like I'm in a church with a lot of believers in baseball. We've got a pew over there, so I'm getting the churchy vibes. So we're going to have the benediction today given by Russ Dietrich.
We've enjoyed so much the beautiful faces and the beautiful smiles looking at us. So I'll give you a chance to look at the back of my head as we sit here. It's just a remarkable experience we've had this morning in America, a remarkable experience we've had right along with the Tarp Skunks and all of the other people that work so hard on it. I see Greg Peterson over there in the corner, and he's waving hello or goodbye, I don't know which. And, but he was a foundation block that brought a lot of other foundation blocks in to the program, and it's so very, very important. And the wonderful thing about the calendar is going to flip here pretty soon. It's going to be spring training, and all of baseball is going to be exciting. But this group that's in here today, and we've talked to and been working on, their spring training started a week before the last season was over. And they're right in the middle of spring training, putting everything together for the upcoming year coming this time. And we're so very, very grateful and happy about them. And the young ball players that are running around that dirt infield and the grass down at the stadium, it's just been so exciting for us. And they have been a marvelous team, as we've noticed, and we go down there to enjoy that. But there is also another wonderful team put together, and that's the people we've been talking to today. And they are a very important team to bring it off for everybody to enjoy at the stadium, and we're so grateful for them. The other team member has been the city of Jamestown, who since early in the 1940s decided to build a stadium down there, the municipal stadium, and it's been there, and it's been just excellent for baseball. And there's been hundreds of professional baseball players played baseball down there for the Jamestown teams. There's been more than hundreds. There's been probably a couple thousand that have played down there as visiting team members, and many of them are in Cooperstown Hall of Fame, along with Randy Johnson and Nellie Fox, who played for the Jamestown baseball. And it's a very important. And as we look back at the rosters of the Skunks over the last couple of years, I noticed names, and we've talked about them today, and some of them have been on the screen for us today, are going to find themselves also in Cooperstown someday. But they'll be in the heart of the Jamestown baseball fans forever, and we're so very, very happy for that. And the other thing, there's a lot of seats down at the stadium, and so many times you go down, there's not a seat to sit in because everybody is there enjoying the ball game. And you see people there with youngsters. Some youngsters are 2 and 3 years old and even younger down there getting the taste of baseball at our stadium, and we're so very, very happy for that. Oh, with all of that to think about, and we've noticed today the foundation block that Greg Peterson started, there's been a lot added, and a lot of them we've met today. And the exciting thing about that, there is a minor league system for future supporters of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. And they'll be graduating to be a part of this program over the years. So many of us had a chance to go down there when the stadium was just about built and baseball was just beginning to shine at the stadium, and they're there today. And because of these people that are here today, and those people that were yesterday, and the people will be here tomorrow, they will be here forever. A good game of baseball. And the wonderful thing about it is it's in our community. And the people that come here to enjoy it say, boy, what a wonderful place to be. And we're so happy to do that. So they told me I had 30 seconds, and I've got 1 second left, I guess, huh? And I'll have to give the microphone back. They warn him, if he doesn't stop, turn the microphone off. That's why they give me a hand microphone. I remember I sat in a dugout down there one time and playing with a semi-pro team, and I heard my name, Dietrich, and I thought, what's going on here? So I stood up and I looked, and I thought, oh, geez, maybe some of the families in the grandstand. So I got up and I looked in the grandstand, and I couldn't see any family or anybody I knew. So I sat back down again. And I was a left-handed pitcher during those days. And I heard, again, Dietrich. And I listened closer. And it was a visiting team. But they were saying, put Dietrich in. So, so a lot of good things can happen at the stadium. And when I was pitching games down there, the happiest guys in that team were the outfielders that play the game of baseball. because they didn't have to catch any balls. Because every time I threw it, it went over the fence. And some big guy with a little stick would hit it. And it's all so exciting. But really, thank you so very, very much for being a member of the organization that makes baseball what it is, and baseball to have it here. Sometimes I think, we're not on the air, are we? Sometimes I think the major leaguers and the Major League Baseball development right this moment is changing the game of baseball drastically. But it's those youngsters on the Babe Ruth field and the Little League field and the schools and with the Skunks, they're not letting them do it. They're playing baseball, and we get to enjoy it. And the schedule, why they handed me the microphone now, my and June's schedule has changed, and we have to do some other things. So I'm going to do a really big favor for all of you. Am I allowed to do that? I'm leaving. Next time I see you, it will be 4, but I'll see you at the stadium cheering for the Skunks. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Russ. You can get your season tickets today. You can order your season tickets. Talk to Jacob or Christian on your way out. Take a look at Michael's merchandise line, and go Skunks. Thanks, everybody.